Today I'm going to show you how to use enumerate in a loop and how it can make your code more Pythonic. So here I have created a simple list of seasons and I printed them using a for loop. But what if I wanted to number them and display a numbered list? One way would be to use a count variable. Let me demonstrate this. Okay, so I added a count variable there and I put it in the print statement and I incremented it by 1 and there you get your numbered list. Another way would be to use the len function together with the range function. Let me show you an example. Okay, so now I'm using the range and the len function together. The len function basically counts the length of the list and sets up a range function to count in that range. And then all I'm doing is I count, I add 1 to it so it's not starting at 0. If I take that out, it'll start at 0 like that. 0, 1, 2, 3. But I want it to start at 1, so I'll add 1. The value in the list is displayed by using the index of the list to display the value. Now let's use the enumerate function to do the same thing, and you will see it's much easier to read and more Pythonic. So there you have the same thing, but you'll see it starts at 0. So how do we get it to start counting from 1? We use the start keyword argument and we set the value to 1 or to start from whichever value we would like. And you can see it's all the same, but it just reads a lot better and you don't have to keep track of a counter variable like you do here. Now let me show you how enumerate actually works. It uses a generator to yield the value in an iterable and add an index. Let me demonstrate that by making my own enumerator function. See my video on generators for more information on how generators work. I will link the video in the description. Okay, so here I've defined a generator and you'll see it looks like a normal function, except you don't have a return keyword, you have a yield keyword. And this generator accepts an iterable, and then it has a start keyword argument. It uses a for loop to step through the items in the iterable, and it yields them. So it yields the index, and it yields the item, and then it waits. Here's my list of fruits, and I then use a for loop, an R to keep a place for the index, a value for the list that's going to come back, the value in the list. I call my enumerate, I pass it my list, and I pass it the keyword argument. If you don't set the start, it will default to 0, and then it steps through each item and it will yield every item as the for loop runs. Okay, so let me show that. And there you can see, there's the index and there's the value. Okay, so that is how enumerate works under the covers. Now let me show you a kind of real world example where you could use enumerate in your code. Okay, so here's a list of bugs and the list contains a list of dictionaries and each dictionary contains the bug information. Right, so now I'm going to use a for loop to enumerate over bugs. I'm going to start it from the value of 1 and then I'm going to display the bugs in a nice format. Okay, and then it will use the enumerate to give me a counting index. Okay, so let's see that in action. Right, so you can see there, it displays things ever so nicely. The first bug, bug 1, bug 2, bug 3, and there's the information. Right, guys, hope you enjoyed today's tutorial on enumerate. Go forth and use it everywhere. Cheers.